Hi, good afternoon. I hope you guys are keeping well. So today we are going to start a new topic, which is on page number 86. The topic is Destination Moon. This is a small extract. Extract means a small portion of an article has been taken from the book India's Quest for the Moon, and we are just going to read this extract. Why we are talking about this topic is because this is about a moon, and before we start the chapter, I would like to say that um, in today's world, I think technology has taken such a leap that we have just, I think, fulfilled all our dreams as in terms of mankind, where people used to dream of stepping on the moon, which is something quite unimaginable. But thanks to science and thanks to technology, people and generations and different countries have contributed, and they have put in a lot of money and effort and time in research to explore the moon, which has been one of the most untouched topics in terms of science and technology. And people really want to know, as in, what is going on the moon, and why can't human beings survive on the moon. And there has been many steps in terms of research. People, in case if you are interested in science fictions, you'll see there are many movies which are shown where uh, people have started living on the moon, and things like that. So it has always been a desire to explore. And so today we are going to talk about that. As I think, as human beings, this is one of the biggest achievements in the field of science and technology. A couple of questions we have, before we are in a position to understand what are we talking about. It says, who said these words and why? When and where were these words said? There's one small step for a man, but one giant leap for mankind. These are famous words spoken by Mr. Neil Armstrong. He was the first American, first human being who ever stepped on the moon, and he did that on July 21st, 1969. And when he stepped on the moon, he had sent a message, and everyone, all the people were glued to their radio sets trying to listen to what he said. So this is what he said, and this was a message to not only fellow Americans but a message to entire mankind about this revolution. He was a pioneer to step, and so he this was the time when he said that. The second question B says, "Sare jahan se acha." I think there's not even one human being one Indian, sorry, who does not know the meaning of these lines. Whenever we want to feel, and whenever we want to pay a tribute, and whenever we really want to show our love and dedication towards our country, we sing this beautiful nazam. Nazam is a poem in Urdu. Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara, hum bulbule hain iski ye gulsita hamara. It's a beautiful poem, Urdu poem, nazam, written by Iqbal Sahib, popularly known as Alama Iqbal, and he wrote this poem for children, particularly for the children of India. And he wrote on this poem was published in one of the weekly magazines on 16th of August 1904, and this was just a poem dedicated to the people of children, and he really wanted to where he wanted to show his patriotism towards his motherland. Then there's another story that when he moved to Pakistan, when India was divided, and he moved to Pakistan, he became a Pakistani poet. But in terms when we're talking about poetry and literature, we don't talk about countries divided. We always remember him as one of the greatest poets. The third question is, write the full forms of ISRO and ESA. Where are their headquarters? So this is a question that I want you to do it. Please Google it, and write the answer of this question on Google Classroom. Just upload the answers. Can you name the former president of India who was closely associated with ISRO? So please do these two questions. It won't take more than a minute. You can do that. So India's keen desire, keen means when you have a heartfelt desire, when you really want to do something from heart, to make its mark on world-class science and technology, especially in the area of space science, is one of the reasons that Chandrayaan 1 was born in the year 2008. One of the developing countries in the world is India, and you should be happy to know that we stand fourth. I think India was the fourth country who ever succeeded in sending its satellite called Chandrayaan 1 in 2008 to the moon. And there has been I should say, a continuous progress and research where Indians really want to succeed and take part and develop the technologies in terms of Indian technologies, to show its progress, to show its research in terms of the moon, as in what is going on and the progress that India is doing in its own technology, um, based on its own technology, for the study of moon. And so this was when Chandrayaan 1 was born, was created. Chandrayaan 1, India's maiden mission to the moon. The first mission to the moon is Chandrayaan 1. There's a movie also made on this, Indian movie made on this topic. Was one of the most exhaustive lunar exploration missions and a major milestone in the country's space research program. One of the most exhausting means when you can no longer contain hold your patience. It took a very, very, very long time, which is not surprising when you are taking such a big mission, I should say. Lunar exploration missions and a major milestone, and this was one of the biggest marks in the history of Indian space research, where they succeeded in sending Chandrayaan 1 to the moon. Country's space research program. We have one of the best space research stations in India, so that can read. Another question that you can answer is, we have a space station in Ladakh region also. So please tell me where it is and write it down in your or upload it on your Google Classroom. In spite of all its problems, there were many trials and many difficulties. India saw this mission as a unique response to a global challenge. We are not doing it for cosmetic value, but this is a necessity in terms of when you are talking about a country, when we are talking about a developing country, when we are talking about going hand in hand with all the major countries, in terms of research and development. So it was a very different mission that India took as a challenge, and they succeeded. Dr. As Dr. Krishna Swami Kasturi Rangnam, chairman of ISRO, said, it is not a question of whether we can afford to go to the moon, it is whether we can afford to ignore it. Yeah? So, this is what the chairman of ISRO said, that um, we just cannot sit and ignore it. It has become more like a necessity, where people have to know, and we as Indians have to do something in the research, space research program.